So it's been quite the comedy scene today when it comes to the SJWs, and this article that I'm going to be covering is no different. This is going to be talking about the Game of Thrones episode from this past Sunday, so if you haven't seen that episode yet, you might want to skip this video. But with that being said, check out this juicy headline we have here. Game of Thrones keeps killing off entire immigrant populations, and it's a problem. It's a problem. Going woke! It's time to go woke, everybody! So, oh man. On last night's Game of Thrones, the priestess Melisandre sauntered in at the last possible minute to light up the Arrachs of the Dothraki in flames. It offered both the assembled forces of Winterfell and the audiences at home a brief glimmer of hope before the next 60 or so minutes of horror film meets battle scene tension and resulted in a clever cinematic trick, the swift extinguishing of that flame like a city skyline, experiencing a rolling blackout, telegraphed the pure carnage that awaited without zooming in on the details. By the way, I thought that part was actually really good. It really set up the tone and the tone of the episode, and it really was a really creepy moment. So I thought that it was really handled very well. Narratively, however, it also literally represented the end of what was left of Daenerys' 100,000 plus Dothraki horde. Presumably, there are the women? Supposed to be women? Do you know what women are? Well, yeah, women. Women and children, I should say, and possibly a few rogue hordes of Dothraki still left in Essos, but unless the show pulls a trick of, oh, we actually have some more Dothraki over here, you just couldn't see them, it was dark, this may have been their send-off from the show. It was an abrupt end to an entire group whom we were introduced to in the very first episode, and a people we've spent more time with understand better than any of the populations of the actual Seven Kingdoms. This must mean that the people that make Game of Thrones are Trump supporters who want to kill off all the Mexicans. That's exactly what this means, right? I think that's what this guy, Kyle is trying to get at here. I think he is saying that the writers of Game of Thrones have a problem when it comes to immigrants. That's definitely what it's starting to sound like here. Anyway, this is kind of a winded article, so I'm not really going to spend too much time reading this or anything. But it talks about like the Unsullied and stuff and how so many of them died as well. So the Unsullied and the Dothraki dying is a big problem for Kyle. Kyle has a big problem with killing immigrants because that must mean that the writers of this show are biased, apparently, are prejudiced against immigrants that are trying to come to the USA, right? That's exactly what this means. Oh man. Sure, some of the Unsullied may survive the battle against Cersei and her rented Golden Army, yet another force of foreigners whose fate seems simply to die in battle. But as that population can't reproduce to form a lasting society in Westeros, there are certain themes their fate won't be able to directly address. The only thing that this show is trying to say is that white people are superior, and they just use immigrants for their wars. That's exactly what they're trying to say. All of us evil Americans, all we want to do are just use immigrants, kill immigrants. That's all that matters to us. All of us bad, evil white people. Oh man. Anyway, so this person just kind of continues to whine and complain and talk about how basically killing immigrants is a problem in the show. Apparently, it's a big problem, and it might speak to deeper issues that the show might have. The show could still find some way to address these themes and questions that once seemed so central. Unfortunately, it's killed off so many immigrants and foreigners that it's left itself very little to work with. Oh, man. So, yeah, like I said, this is what the person here is saying. Game of Thrones keeps killing off entire immigrant populations, and it's a problem. It's a problem? It's a problem. I mean, it's the way that the story was written. It's the way that the story works narratively. These people amass huge armies from other nations. That's what the story is about. The story is about bringing nations, allies together to fight each other, and, you know, the show is kind of like Risk in a lot of ways. You're bringing in forces from all these different areas, and you're trying to amass armies to try to defeat other people. That's what this show is about. This show is about having the numbers to try to take down your opponents. And where do you get those numbers from? From these other countries. It's not saying anything against immigrants. It's not saying anything against, foreigners. That's just how this show works. And I can speak on the behalf, I'm sure, of the writers of Game of Thrones, the showrunners of Game of Thrones. They don't have a problem with immigrants. They don't have a problem with foreigners. It's just the way this show works. It's the way this world of Game of Thrones has been set up. Anyway, I just thought that this was really funny, really hilarious article. These people are absolutely insane. This article is just outrageous. Anyway. It's been a really funny day when it comes to the SJWs. They're just coming up with more and more ridiculous nonsense every day, and it's just continuing to get more and more crazy. Oh man, and it really is a problem in movies in general. I mean, think about it. Sauron was bringing in all these other people from all these other countries and stuff, like the Easterlings and the Mumakil and all of that. Man, this is a really big problem for a lot of shows, for a lot of movies and stuff. Even Thanos and Loki. Loki used like the Chitauri as his army in the Battle of New York. That must mean that Loki's a white dude. Oh my gosh, it all makes sense now. It all makes sense. White people are racist, are racist people that just want to use immigrants to fight their battles for them. Bad white people. Bad white people. Anyway, those are just some added comments there about all that. But I just found this article to be amusing, and I hope you guys did as well. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Thank you for all of your support. And with that being said, I will talk to you all very soon in another video. Talk to you later. Bye.